What did you want to do when you were little? What did you want to
Oh boy.
be?
I don't really think I had any idea. When I was in elementary school, I had a while where I wanted to be an ornithologist. I was really into birds.
Does that have something to do with where you grew up?
With where I grew up, you wouldn't think so, but yeah, I mean, I grew up in New York City. So, um, but I did see some birds in Central Park. I was pretty into that. But actually, not a musician really. That took me a while. I mean, I was pretty serious about it through middle school, through high school, but didn't really think about that as a career.
Hmm. So
Yeah,
were you one of those little boys that had the binoculars going through Central
I
Park?
yeah, I think so. Like every now and then, I had some binoculars. Yeah,
Interesting. Did your parents support you in your passion for birds?
the career thing was kind of just a joke, but like, yeah, we were all into bird watching together.
Okay. What was your first job then?
A camp counselor at a music camp, actually. Being a lifeguard, did some work. I think some tutoring. So yeah, those were kind of the first things.
Here's an interesting question then. If you
Yeah,
hadn't gone into music, what profession do you think you might have pursued?
maybe something in medicine or psychology.
Is that something that one of your parents did as well? And I don't. What did your parents do?
No, yeah, my mother's background was all in kind of writing and journalism, and my father had a background in archaeology, and also does writing and marketing for a firm now. So
I see.
yeah,
Okay, so just your own aspirations would have led you to
yeah,
essentially medicine.
possibly.
Okay. So what was you said you started focusing on music a little bit later in life. How around what age would that have been, and what made you want to be a professional
Yeah,
cellist?
I guess I was pretty dedicated to it. Actually, at a young age, like I'd say from about 5 or 6, I was playing piano, and I was taking lessons over at Mannes College of Music, which is on the Upper West Side of Manhattan, where I grew up. And then I took up cello when I was 11 or 12. So it was actually a lot of music when I was young, and like through the school, in addition to lessons, they put you through like music theory, ear training, ensembles. So it was actually like a full kind of a very full program. Um, but yeah, even doing that, I didn't think I wanted to do it after that. I figured I would just finish in high school, and you know, I didn't really think about beyond. So
Okay, so what was the kicker? What made
yeah,
you do this?
I was really serious about piano, and maybe got a little burnt out on it actually. So cello was kind of a little more in the background, but actually was just a lot more fun for me. I
Mhm.
think throughout those years, like in high school, I was starting to get involved in ensembles. I loved playing in string quartets. I I really liked orchestra, so I was really liking the collaborative, I think, spirit of the cello compared to the piano, where it was just a lot of time alone. Um, and so I did start to think about it right towards the end of high school. I think about, I mean, I certainly, because I was looking at music schools at the time, I was thinking about at least keeping it going. And then I would say the first couple of years of college, as I started to play great sonatas by Beethoven, and um, like concertos, really, the big concertos, Elgar uh, comes to mind. That got me really excited about the repertoire, and I just really kept going with it. And I had some encouragement from faculty to, um, you know, to let me know that I could kind of make it. If I devoted myself to it, I was kind of on the right track. So that was helpful.
Okay,
Yeah.
great, fantastic. Well, then I have to ask you: do you have any musical horror stories that you can share about something you might have experienced as a child, or more recently, or anywhere in between?
Yeah. Lots. I don't even know where to start. As a child, lots of recital disasters. Which were they didn't really feel that like a big deal at the time, which is good probably. So I was playing. the Gershwin preludes for piano, and I was playing the second prelude, which is the slow movement, and I got to and everything was like for memory then, at least, or I don't know if that's maybe is just like more of a piano thing too. It's like you're sort of supposed to play your recitals from memory. So I was playing from memory, and the second movement, and I played this piece like a few times even up until then, and then I got to the middle section, and I just totally blanked on how it went. Like I couldn't even sing it or had any idea. So I just made something up for what felt like about 30 seconds of just improvising. I probably sounded terrible, and then I just went back to the A section, finished it up, played the third movement, like just played it cool, I think. um, yeah.
That's a lot of poise to be able to come back and play the third movement right after that then.
Yeah, I don't know why, like it didn't get to me somehow, which is nice. I think later, something like that totally would have. Like I found it actually harder over the years to sort of deal with nerves and things like that in recital. I feel like that was easy when I was young, when I was a kid. So so that was probably, the disasters got smaller, but they felt bigger
Sure.
as I got older.
Right.
So like, miss note here and there, and be thinking about it for minutes as opposed to, not forgetting the whole section. That's a whole different thing.
Right.
Yeah. So.
Well, assuming you have any spare time these days, what do you like to do in your spare time?
Yeah, well, I actually have a lot of spare time, I would say these days, really more than ever. And I've been doing a lot of skiing this season. That's been kind of my outdoor fun activity in the last at least month or two. It's been a lot of good snow. Um,
Are you a
I
downhill or are you a cross country?
I do some of both, but it's been more of downhill, and that's more what I enjoy and have fun with. So
Do
yeah.
you have any favorite areas to ski in Oregon or in Northern California? How far do you go?
I pretty much just stick within Oregon, and um, I like Willamette Pass, which is the close one to Eugene. It's about a little under hour and a half to get there. So really all the good mountains in Oregon, Mount Bachelor, and I'll go out there sometimes. But
Hmm.
yeah, I'm not so crazy about it that I've taken massive trips to do it in other places
Hmm.
yet. But I'm getting more and more into it. It seems so.
Did you just
Um,
start skiing when you moved to Oregon, or is this something that you've done in the past?
I did it. I did it starting probably, I don't know, age 12 or so.
Okay.
So yeah. Um, yeah. So skiing's been really nice. I do some rock climbing too. Um, I really love to read, so I'm doing that a lot in my spare time. I feel like I'm doing all these things more than working right now, actually.
Well,
Um,
what do you like to read?
yeah,
What's your genre of preference?
yeah, about half and half, fiction and nonfiction. Um, been kind of on an Amazon kick recently, reading about books of people exploring the Amazon rainforest and some different things in that area. Nonfiction, yeah.
When you
Um,
mentioned Amazon, I was thinking you're reading about Bezos. Are you
right, yeah. That's the more famous Amazon now.
right?
Yeah.
Oh, that sounds like you have a lot that you can choose from.
Yeah, I try to come up with other projects just to, stay busy with music when I don't have a concert coming up. So, um, got some composing that I've done in the last several months since the pandemic really started.
Talk a little bit about your composing since you mentioned it. What
Yeah. Mhm.
things have you composed in the past, and what's on your agenda now as far as your next composition?
Yeah. So the first like couple of months of COVID, I really dropped playing the cello pretty much entirely, and I just composed because I finally, had the time to do it. So I pretty much put in, several hours every day, just kind of had a little schedule. I didn't really have any goals of what to write. So I started with writing a fugue for piano because it's something that I've always had fun doing in the past. And I knew like sort of a structured enough form that I wouldn't get lost in the weeds kind of. So that was like my first thing to just get the gears turning, and then it really was a little open ended, and I just sketched a lot of different things out. The thing that I really had sort of success with and that I finished was a cello suite, solo cello suite. But I didn't plan to write that. It just throughout the process, it kind of I realized I was making good progress on it, and then I just finished that up. I really shifted gears to that. And some people who are listening to this may have heard it because I performed them over the summer outdoors. And it's really modeled after a Bach cello suite in structure, at least, which is actually something I haven't really seen with 20th. There's a lot of 20th century solo cello repertoire. But I actually haven't seen a suite that really has all of the movements that would have been in a Bach suite. Mm-hmm. So it wasn't exactly my plan at first. I had a prelude, and then I tried to write the second movement of a cello suite, which is called an allemande for everyone. And then I sort of realized, oh, this is cool. Let me try to actually keep the model going. So, that was really the jumping off point. And so really Bach is the biggest inspiration. I've always loved playing the Britten cello suites though. So I think that I'm sure that's in there somewhere in the sort of harmonic language, because I spent a lot of time in Brazil working down there. I wrote Brazilian music for the minuets because that's sort of like the wild card for Bach. He writes all sorts of dance movements. So I wrote Choros, which is a Brazilian dance piece. That was my little twist on it.
Wonderful. I like that idea.
Yeah.
Great. Well, we've talked a lot about things that you like to do. Is there something that you absolutely do not like to do at all?
Oh, I mean, the first thing that came to mind was just taxes, I don't know why. Maybe because it's starting to get on my mind being February and all that. Growing up in New York, I think we're definitely encouraged to think about all the things we dislike. So,
well, like New York, if you grew up in the city, you probably didn't drive a lot necessarily, correct? Or did you grow up in a suburb?
That's a good point. Yeah, like driving to big shopping centers, I really don't like because of that. Because that was my experience. Is always you walk down the street and you do what you need to do on foot, and it's all kind of there.
Right.
Or you get on the subway, which I'm still really attached to. So, yeah, driving to like a Bed Bath and Beyond is like my anxiety dream,
Nice.
Yeah.
Is there a sound or noise that you absolutely love?
I mean, water, I guess, comes to mind, like rain and flowing streams,
Mm-hmm.
waterfalls.
I love that sound too.
Yeah.
Is there then, on the contrary side, is there a sound that you absolutely hate?
Probably a jackhammer,
Well, like
whatever they've been doing across the street from me for the last 3 months, construction at about 8 a.m. That sound is not great. I was reading this book, and this person was talking about doing this meditation and hearing this sound, and it was like this lovely bird, and they just really looked forward to hearing this bird, and it was this beautiful thing. And they went and discovered it was actually this chirping of like a smoke alarm going off, and it totally changed their perception of the sound.
That's fantastic.
So sometimes if I do hear the jackhammer or the buzzsaw, if I just imagine that it's some cool exotic animal, now it's cool. Now it's wonderful. It's great.
I like that a lot. I have a couple other questions for you.
Cool.
As we continue to navigate this worldwide pandemic, do you have any advice for our patrons as they are waiting patiently for live music to begin again?
I think everyone's experience of this time is just so different based on what people are going through, and so it's really like I can look at my own experience with this, and actually on a personal level, it was really good timing because I kind of needed a little break, sabbatical kind of thing. You know, in the same ways for other people, it's been incredibly challenging, and so I've been kind of in this mindset of, well, you know, just kind of see what happens, and the time that is this time that has changed things so much is time to kind of reflect and do new projects and things like that. But I, you know, feel lucky to be in that position, and I'm sure that it's not like that for a lot of people. It's not permanent, which is good, and I sort of see the light at the end of the tunnel, and I see music returning, and I felt really strongly about providing music sort of as soon and whenever possible, you know, during all of this. Music is, you know, it's so important. It's as important as these other things that we are trying to figure out ways to do, you know, whether that's going to the gym or shopping or all of these things that we're working around. And I feel, you know, my part as a musician has been to try to find ways to keep bringing music to people. And so I see that just continuing to increase, which is great.
Good. Speaking of, that's a good leadway segue into
Yeah.
another question. What upcoming performances do you have that,
Mhm.
and how can our viewers watch them?
Yeah, sure. Well, we have a Delgani String Quartet performance. They can check delgani.org for the dates. That's an American music concert. We're doing single movements from really interesting American composers in the mostly 20th century, but over a total range of styles. And that's going to be live streams.
How do you see technology, what we've learned during the pandemic, during technology, impact? How is that impacting the future for music?
I think that people's access to musicians, all of the kind of online content that sort of involves interviews and chats and group chats and various things like that, and that can also bring people from, you know, all over the world too. That's a great thing, you know, to stick around.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to end our session here, Eric, with
Okay.
a little section I call rapid fire. I just have a series of 10 questions where I don't want you to think too hard. It's either A or B. Okay. You just choose one or the
Oh, I
other.
have a choice. That's good
Yeah.
because
Rapid
that's easy.
fire. Yeah. I just give you option A, option B, and then we go for it.
Cool.
All right. Here we go. Rapid fire. Here we go. Early bird or night owl?
Early bird.
Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Breakfast or lunch?
Breakfast. Early
Sum-
bird. All of this stuff is early birds. You know, it just fits together.
Summer or winter?
Um, they're both great. I can't. Summer. Summer.
Cats or dogs?
Um, dogs.
Planes or trains?
Planes.
Sun or moon?
Sun.
Beach or mountains? I think I know the answer to this one, but
Mountains. Yeah.
sweet or savory?
Savory.
Rolling Stones or Beatles?
Beatles.
Awesome.